Great. Well, lovely to meet you, Scott. Let me know how I can help.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, just saw your profile on LinkedIn, and I saw your you reached out to your network about doing some mentoring and wasn't I'm not in sales or in SaaS at all. I'm never turned down the opportunity to just pick someone's brains who's smashing it really, and just kind of see if I can take away anything I can implement in my own career and work on a few things that I'm in a corporate job at the moment in London, and sometimes I kind of feel that I put a lot of effort into working for other people, and I kind of see myself driving to invest in myself a little bit more. And I'm just kind of curious as to whether you've had that experience, and yeah, just sort of listening to you talk really about see if there's anything mutual that we have I can implement.
So tell me what you do, Scott. You said you're in corporate. What do you do?
Yeah, so I'm in creative, which is kind of right against the corporate landscape a little bit. But I work for Samsung. I'm an industrial designer, so I work on the mobile phones and domestic appliances for Samsung.
Very interesting. And so you clearly put in a lot of work. You've been doing it, sounds like, for a period of time. So talk to me about just your job satisfaction. Are you happy with what you're doing? Are you on a path to realize the vision you have for your life?
Yeah, sure. Like I've worked really hard, to be honest, to get in through the front door. Design's quite a competitive, a bit of a it's like a bit of a race to the bottom with regards to how many people they spit out from colleges and universities and how many people want to enter the industry. So to get finally sort of, I worked my way up from the lower end of design, and then got this opportunity at Samsung, and I've only been there since February. It's kind of that for me was like, oh, I've made it. I've got into this job, but the human condition of kind of you get somewhere, and I'd say my satisfaction of my job is really good, but and I love what I do, and I love the guys that I work with, but I kind of feel like well, as in, yeah, as I said earlier, like I kind of spend a lot of my day and working for someone else, and when you're in a big corporation, something you are a small part of the puzzle, and kind of I've got a big interest in entrepreneurship, and I've got all these ideas about how I would potentially start a business or make money online doing selling some skills, or and what I guess my ultimate goal is to kind of like implement those things. I'm very good at like coming up with ideas for how I kind of see my life panning out, and using what I've learned at Samsung and my career to kind of like mold myself into that. I wanted to know from you really if there had any advice on like kind of following through on your like ambitions and struggling with that day to day kind of planning out of tasks and discipline and stuff.
Yeah, absolutely. Look, one of the greatest speeches in history, in my view, is from Steve Jobs when he's talking to his former Stanford peers. And one of the things that he shared when, in essence, people ask him, why did he, work at the pace that he did building Apple and Pixar? And he said he realized that he needed no greater motivation than knowing that one day he would not be here anymore.
Mm.
And as much as to some that may sound slightly morbid, I think that when you start to distill down that fact, Scott, that you have one shot at this, you've got one shot at life, and one day you will just be looking back on your life, only reflecting on the things that you did do and also the things that you didn't do.
Yeah.
And you're never going to get this moment again. You're going to get a diminishing return on your time as you get older, because you're going to have less energy, less vigor, less creativity. It's just something that none of us can escape. So where you're on this call right now, and I can hear in you that you've put in this work in corporate, but you're not fulfilled in that work. Clearly, it's when you start talking about the entrepreneurship, that's where the light in Scott starts to ignite. You've got
Yeah, I
to
agree.
mentally commit to the fact that, say, look, I'm getting a diminishing return on every day of my time, and the opportunity cost is too great for me to sit in this role for another day, month, or year. Now is the time to go for it. The question then becomes where you say, well, Alex, how do I do that? Right? I've got this vision of what I want to do. How do I make it happen? And the big thing you've got to do, Scott, is break it down into bite-sizable milestones. I see one of the biggest threats to most people is they have this grand vision. So they design their life. I want to be an entrepreneur. I want to work from anywhere. I want freedom, optionality. Great. So what does that mean in terms of what I need to do every quarter, every month, every day, every half day, every hour to start to make inroads towards that? And so I'd love for you to go out and actually write down the vision without any bars of what life would look like, and then
Yeah.
start to break that down. And then you start to actually take action on the milestones. And what will blow you away, Scott, it's the feeling of momentum. When you start ticking things off a checkbox to say, right, I've done that, I've done that, I've done that, I've done that, it creates momentum. And it's that momentum that will help you then realize the vision. But if you just have the vision without the milestones and the momentum, you'll end up stuck because the vision will feel too big for you to take action on it. So I'll pause there. Is that helpful?
Yeah, definitely. You basically confirmed kind of like what I kind of know to be true, really, with regards to. I think it's the way I am as a person, Alex. Really, to be honest, like kind of if you think about, I've always had, sort of seen myself in the future, and some would call it dreaming, I guess, but it's kind of aspirations, and you build this kind of image of yourself in a certain situation, but and occasionally you realize that vision and that dream, or you create something equally good out of nothing. But I think for this, it's like you're bang on with regards to kind of you have a finite amount of time, and it kind of motivates me to implement that kind of like what I need to do in bite-sized chunks, and I definitely think like in the past, even if I've got stuff to do for my work, I'll make a list, and it doesn't feel really good, when you're just sort of going through, oh yeah, I've done that, and I need to do that for myself, really, and I think that'll bring me closer to what I kind of what I want.
Absolutely. Scott, quick question. Tell me about your environment, both in terms of where you live and the people around you. What does that encourage and foster where you're trying to go?
Yeah, like I have quite a small environment and community. Kind of, I live with my partner, who's like unbelievable. She's like incredibly supportive, and really, really, completes my She really adds to my ability to kind of like my foster my dreams and follow through on, and she helps me to manage my time as well. She'd be like, oh, you should do this, and you said you were going to work on that, so it kind of holds me accountable, really, which is really good. And because that's so strong, I lack that kind of like I do think I lack kind of strong kind of mentors in different industries, and including my own, and peers as well. I have to have some friends, and who some of which are doing really well. But I'm always because I'm not overly extroverted as a person. My job's kind of silo as well, a little bit, and heterogeneous. You kind of miss out. Sometimes feel like you're missing out sometimes on people like yourself, Alex, and the people that can kind of have done there, and broken through some walls, and got some really important messages and lessons to pass on.
Absolutely. I mean, that's really just why I wanted to encourage, Scott, is that really try and actively create more circumstances in your life that make you uncomfortable. even for a moment or for a period of time, and also scenarios that hold you accountable. So just as a small tactical example, I take a contrast shower every day that goes from
Yeah.
extreme heat to extreme cold. So every morning, my day starts off with this feeling of not being comfortable, and I
Yeah.
beat and I get
Overcoming adversity.
exactly. And
Yeah.
you've got to create more conditions in your life that breed that, because that will be really important for you to make this shift. And the second thing is, invest in a mentor, invest in someone where you've parted with money in
Yeah.
order for them to drive you forward. It's one of the most underrated things to find someone who's walked the journey that you want to walk, or walked, or at least in part. You pay for their knowledge and their expertise, and they will hold you accountable. It's a forcing function for you to go and be the person in this world that you need to be. And I spend over 6 figures a year on coaching. I have 5 coaches in my life for different things, but that accountability and that constant forcing function has changed my life. And so that's the only other thing I'll leave you with on that, Scott.
Amazing. That's really, really good. I really like that about accountability. As I said, working for yourself and holding yourself accountable sometimes can be quite challenging. Whereas if you've got someone around you and you're invested in it, that can help sort of equally hold yourself accountable. I think it's really good. Thank you so much for your time.
Scott, please keep me updated. I'd love to hear how this unfolds for you. So enjoy your Sunday and all the best with everything.
Yeah, you too. Thank you so much for your time. Really
Great.
appreciate it.
Thanks,
Alex.
Take care now. Bye.
Yeah, you too. Bye.